Coming up on Hold All Tickets, poor old Meryl cops it in the Self-Trumpeters segment. And I'm joined by Sheo, first up from a lengthy spell, bringing a bit of quirky stuff to the table.
Yeah, a few things you might have missed in the wide world of racing over the past week.
Coming up now, Hold All Tickets. Welcome to this week's edition of Hold All Tickets, brought to you by BoomBet. Great fixed odds, more value and more boom moments. Sign up today and get in on the boom. Alex is continuing his world tour, Adelaide, Hong Kong, now Wagga Wagga, bit of an unconventional world tour. So it's James Lamb in the host chair again, and this week I'm joined by a very special guest, Mr. Luke Sheehan. Welcome, Sheo.
Thanks, James. Great to be here. Insert the it's been 84 years gif. It's been a long time between pods.
I was going to say, back from a long spell, what's your first up record like?
Going to need the run. There'll be some ring rust, I think, but okay. We'll see how we go.
No, I haven't seen your jump outs, but I'm backing you in to fire fresh. We've got a slightly different format to today's show. Still plenty of tips and, of course, self-trumpeters. But we're going to kick things off with a long-running series of yours that is published on Punters every week. Every Monday afternoon, I think it comes out. Things you might have missed. So it's some points of interest that caught your eye over the last week that would not have appeared in the mainstream racing news. We'll kick things off with some wild scenes at Horsham last weekend.
Yeah, as you say, a little self-plug for the column, James. But yeah, this race at Horsham was unearthed by my colleague Paul Barbieri, who's got a good nose for news, and this was as quirky as it gets. So the race has started, a horse has turned left and gone through the running rail, dumped the jockey and taken off in the clockwise direction. So it's caused a bit of a stir. The stewards, quite rightly, due to that, wanted to call it a no race. They've gone down to activate the no race or the false start siren. Don't know what happened. The battery's battery's gone flat. Power's out. Didn't work. So they've gone the manual route and tried to talk to the jockeys just over the fence from the stewards' tower. They could only get the ear of one of them. So basically, in their attempt to try and call it a no race, the race has still gone ahead and run and won, and it turns out there was a result in the end. So it sounded pretty wild.
And it was only one jockey that pulled his horse up?
Yeah, so there was one horse that was called a no-starter after the event, but everyone else were just going hell for leather. So they obviously were unaware of the mayhem that was going on with the stewards.
And a former $900,000 yearling sold for significantly less than that this week.
Yeah, we love an English digital sale here at Punters, mainly because it's the generator of so much content like this. And yeah, the Waller Colt president, he was a $950K yearling. He's had a fair haircut on that price when he's been unsold now for just $17,000. So Warwick Farm trainer Jason Coyle is hoping he can make a bit of a win out of that. The horse is still a colt. I'm tipping it might get the ultimate gear change and they might see what they can do there.
And we had #Muffgate up north. What happened there?
Muffgate?
Earmuffs. I don't want to know where your mind went.
You got me there.
Yeah, I'm talking earmuffs.
I was looking at the horse name and I'm going, it's called Mississippi Prince. Anyway, this was flagged by Twitter user D. Barclay or Milton Markets. It was extraordinary, actually. They've sent him around in the earmuffs, which are meant to be only deployed pre-race.
Calming influence before the race.
Correct.
Begins.
They're meant to be removed at the barriers, but I'm told, people with a keener eye than me, that they were underneath the bridle, so they couldn't take them off, but they've obviously just decided to wing it and let the horse go around anyway.
Going around with the AirPods in.
And ran last.
Very good. I think it was 41 into 8 or something as well. So it'd be filthy if you took the 40s.
That was good.
Finally, another one for the $1.01 files.
Yeah, this was flagged by Betfair during the week. So Regal Award had been 250 into 220 pre-race and loomed up as the proverbial and literal $1.01 shot on Betfair. And has promptly got the skids. It's remembered its pack animal instincts as it was approaching the leader and has thrown the race right away. So, pretty sick viewing if you're on there.
Dirty stuff. Thank you, Sheo. A reminder to keep an eye out for things you might have missed every Monday on Punters. Before we delve into the self-trumpeters of the week, shout out to Thoroughbred Sales, who are the #1 online horse platform for owners looking to buy a racehorse with over 130 trainers and syndicators to choose from. Horses will also be eligible to run in their new $4 million race series with over 400 races having a bonus. All right, time to have a look at the biggest bugle blowers of the week, punters who gave their own trumpet a good toot. We'll start with a non-racing one though. 1 vote for Rowan Murray. I did enjoy this from Rowan. Real raining on someone else's parade areas. So Essendon Footy Club posted a photo of lovely old Meryl in her Bombers gear with the caption, "Getting the train from Wagga Wagga at 3 a.m. to be here at the G. She's now been to 28 of a possible 30 Anzac Day games. Enjoy the day, Meryl." That's nice, isn't it? Yeah, lovely. Rowan wasn't having it. He wanted some of the spotlight too, and he replied with this. "I've been to all 30 of them. Plus, I rode to the MCG in 2020 on April 25 during COVID to make sure I didn't break the streak." So, cop that, Meryl. 28 is piss week. Rowan has all 30 sewn up.
That's brutal.
1 vote, Laura King, managing editor of World Horse Racing. This was after globe-trotting galloper Caliph finished 3rd at big odds in the Group 1 QE2 Cup at Sha Tin last Sunday. During their big meeting there, Laura tweeted, "I'll be the only one to flag this. So what a run by Caliph." Maybe there's a backstory here that I'm not aware of, but on face value, "I'll be the only one to flag this" seems a bit trumpety.
Voter.
Yep, yeah. 1 voter. 2 votes, Gary Murray. So the Muzzers, they were busy. This is Bomber Murray this time. This was perhaps not the right time for a trumpet from Gazza. Kate Watts reported on a fall in the Briley steeplechase at the Bull during the week, and she posted that Leaderboard and Bazzini both walked back to their stalls uninjured, but jockey Will Gordon suffered a facial injury. Gaz replied with, "Looked bad, comma, but very happy to get the winner."
Ooh.
Like, Gaz, just keep that to yourself, I reckon, in these circumstances.
I think so.
2 votes, Wayne the Wiz Ormond, repeat offender. We love the Wiz here. Bit of Kanga-style third-person work here from Wizzer. He was quote tweeting a story about one of Mr. Brightside's fellow part owners, Michael Andriadis. And he went with the caption, "Chips," I assume that's Michael, "was one of the first into Mr. Brightside. Has been a big supporter of the Wiz and will be great to meet the legend in Hong Kong." So he's called himself the Wiz. Good on him.
Some likeable votes there.
Yep. 2 votes, Nick McWalter. This is a 1 voter upgraded to 2 as he's a repeat offender in this space. After Lose Some Win More won at Flemington at $4.80, Nick posted a screenshot of the tab results with $5.50 they bet, lol, hashtag pays to listen at SEN track. For the rest of the money makers, listen below, etc., etc. So $5.50 into $4.80 isn't exactly the plunge of the century. So he gets 2 votes for the little trumpet and also the use of lol.
Yeah.
I think he's in his mid to late 20s, maybe 30s. You can't be dropping lols. So he gets 2 votes there. 2 votes, Tim Carroll. And I'm throwing Alex under the bus here. Alex and Tim were on the same Hong Kong racing junket, staying in the same hotel. So the media will put up there. Clearly, management saw Tim as the much bigger name of the two in racing, as they rightly should. So Tim's posted a photo from his hotel room. It's an incredible view of Hong Kong at night from what appeared to be up in the clouds, the pointy end of the hotel. So he's gone with a simple caption, "Room with a view." So it's a nice little trumpet there, just showing people that he's living the high life in Hong Kong.
Yeah, where was Alex's room?
Alex, he was straight onto this. He fired a nomination in. He was down on level, he said he was on level 11 with a big tree obscuring his view of anything. So he looked out the window and just had a big tree, branches. Yep. No cityscape there. So Tim gets 2 votes for his room with a view trumpet.
Not going to lie, I'll still take Alex's room, to be honest.
Yeah. No, Alex shouldn't be doing any complaining. I should have given Alex votes, really. Leaderboard update, Xavier Pegham, 14 votes. The Hawk on 21 and Fitzner still well clear, bowling along in front on 28 votes. I'll have to double check where the Wizard sits. So I feel like he's just been polling 2s and the occasional 1 all season. I'll double check that, but I don't think he's in the top 3. Before we get into this week's tips, we need to hold ourselves accountable as we always do. You can just sit back and relax here, Sheo. You didn't send out any dud tips last week, so enjoy what's coming. I'll start with James Maloney at Randwick last week. His best bet was Zealously. Disappointing performance, finishing 2.3 lengths back in third. Next best was Ducasse. Got home nicely for third again, but that doesn't pay the bills. And his value, Miracle Spin each way. Believe it or not, another third. 3 bets, 3 thirds. But at least Miracle Spin was an each way play, so he got us a collect there. My tips of the Valley. Best bet was LOU. Short bet, sweet. Absolutely trotted in, so that was nice for the best bet. Next best was She's All Shenanigans. Ordinary Effort just doesn't seem to have the same gate speed she showed early in her career, so I might have to sack her. And the best value, Dollar Chaser, might be my worst tip of the year, this one. It's actually pretty well backed, but never travelled a single yard. Dropped out the back early and stayed there. So putrid stuff from Tipster and Horse. Time to get into the tips for this Saturday. We'll start with the thoughts of our sponsor, BoomBet. Great fixed odds, more value, more boom moments. Sign up today and get in on the boom. The Boom Odds horse this week is Pride of Jenny at Caulfield. So if you log into your BoomBet account, you'll see inflated odds for the freewheeling mare. We'll discuss her a little bit later on the show. Reminder that T's and C's apply there. Gamble responsibly. Chris from BoomBet has sent through some notes regarding the early betting action for Saturday. For the SA Derby, these are Chris's comments. We're keen to take on the favourite Statuario. Looks under the odds and we expect a small drift. Lavalier looks the best bet to us and I would expect some market support. The most early action is surprisingly on Feminile, where we have taken some bets at $35. So interesting roughie there. The Queensland Guineas, Chris says, take your pick between Shangri-La Spring or Wonder Boy and follow the market. We feel they are the clear 2 best in the market. Churchill's Choice could see a big drift. The Victory Stakes, also at Eagle Farm, lack of early betting action appears a wide open market. Hidden Wealth has the most scope to be backed in for us, but it seems many punters are waiting for some moves before jumping on. And finally, Pride of Jenny, clear favourite, but seems too short, hence why she's the boom horse this week. Perhaps closer to $3 is better value. Regal Zeus looks value, but we have attracted smart early money on She-Light, who led all the way last time. I can't see She-Light leading Pride of Jenny, but we'll see what happens. All right. Time to rip into the Saturday form and tips. We'll start with the Group 1 in Adelaide. Sheo, who do you like in the SA Derby?
Yeah, disclaimer first to say that I'm a bit of a mug. I'm certainly no super form hound when it comes to this stuff, but I've landed on American Wolf, actually, not just because you were known as the Wolf on a time, Lamby, but I reckon that sounds like a pretty good each-way bet at around the $8 mark. Broke the maiden at Ballarat. Over 2,000 a couple of starts back, and then, of course, came out and won the St. Ledger on Anzac Day, in which was a bit of a ding-dong battle down the straight at Flemington. So he's going to be rock-hard fit coming in off that. That was 2,800. Now stepping back to the 25 on the week backup. Yep. So that's obviously the little slight query on how he handles the backup, but he'll certainly be fit for this one.
Pretty dour customer, so you'd imagine he'll be put into the race pretty early and he'll just keep grinding away.
Yeah, and got Mark Zara on board as well too.
That helps.
Which was the another big factor there. Obviously, clean sweep the Group 1s last weekend, so he's looking to keep up that form.
On with Statuario, they're coming off a dominant win at Caulfield when stepping up to 2,400 last time. Relished the distance rise there, so I don't think the extra 100 is going to pull him up. He has the barrier to really put himself into the race too. He's drawn well. I think he'll go forward and probably settle in the first 5 or 6. Plenty of speed humps in this race, so you don't want to be buried back in the field looking for gaps when the whips are cracking. So I do like Statuario, but I had American Wolf as the danger, so those look the 2 for us. We'll head up to Queensland now to look at a couple of the Group 2s up there. The Queensland Guineas, wide open market. Shangri-La Spring, current favourite from Wonder Boy, and Churchill's Choice down the bottom. But you don't have any of those 3 as your top pick.
Yeah, it's a tough race, but I landed on one of the locals. I thought Boomtown Boss, pretty hard to go past for mine. There are a few ticks, obviously one of them being Emily Lang. She's having a great season up there in Brisbane, leading the premiership as an apprentice as well too. So she's dominating up there. And on this horse in particular, she's got a pretty bomb-proof record for 5 rides for 4 wins and 1 second. So that kind of synergy definitely appeals to me in a race like this. Drawn out in 10, but he's a bit of a worse than midfield sort of operator, stepping up to the mile for the first time. So hopefully can get back and then unleash late. Plan?
Very good. On with Wonder Boy, probably my Vic bias shining through here, but it was good in a stronger Group 2 in Sydney 2-back, second to the Smart Lazura, then went to Bendigo and won well after Mott put him into the race nice and early with 60 kilos. That was a good, tough win. He's a tough horse, so I think the extra distance won't trouble him too much. He'll keep whacking away. He'll be, I'd imagine, up on the speed and trying to keep Boomtown Boss at bay over the concluding stages. Victory Stakes, Group 2, 1,200 metres underweight for age conditions. I had to do a little bit of a last-minute pivot here with Lady Laguna scratched. Which way are you going?
Landed on Hidden Wealth around the $6 mark. Tim Clark on, so hoping it's a case of cross, lead and win, and we know what he can do out in front when he can control a race, Clark. So hoping he can bring his usual A game here. Yeah, it'll probably be won and lost at the start. It's drawn out wide. A little bit of speed on, but yeah, if he can cross and lead, he can dictate terms.
Yep, very nice winning striker at that horse. I'm with Jett after Lady Lagoon was taken out, but I've gone with another Sydney sider. Not disgraced in a couple of hot Group 1s in Sydney. It was only 2.3 lengths off Briasa in the Group 1 TJ Smith Stakes, so that looks good enough form for this. Has since trialled well and well drawn for Robbie Dolan. So Jett there, but that is a wide open race. We don't have a Sydney tipster on the show this week, but our New South Wales four-man Jett Hatton has sent through his best bets for Hawkesbury on Saturday. Sheo, what does Jetstar have in store for us?
He's got his best bet is race 6, number 13, Candlewick, the younger sister to Classique Legend. So well related there. He's made a strong start to her career. Handy win first up at the midweeks and should only improve second up with a good draw. So John O'Shea won this race last year with Schwartz.
$5.50 for his best bet.
Handy.
Good bullish areas. His next best?
Bit shorter than that. His next best, race 3, number 1, is Aerodrome. It's his early pick for the JJ Atkins, so he's backing him in. Salute here. Impressive winner last start over Hidden Motive, and the pair gap the rest only improves, according to Jett.
And Jett's value on Saturday goes around in race 2.
Yeah, race 2, number 5, Get Some Fun from the Karen Owens stable. He's with the filly. He's got the lightweight. Said she enjoyed the step up to 1,400 last time out and reckons she can give a decent sight.
Hopefully she does. We'll move on to Caulfield for my best bets on Saturday, starting with my best bet. My best bet is race 5, number 4, Oak Hill at $3.40 as we record. Beaten by an informed 1,000-metre specialist in Midwest last start. Midwest is absolutely flying over the short trip, so his effort to run second was rock solid. This looks easier. He's drawn to stalk the leaders from barrier 2, provided he steps cleanly for Shin, who takes over from Bates. No disrespect for Bates, but Shin is probably an upgrade there for Oak Hill. Next best, race 2, number 5, Smart Little Miss. Just looks a completely different horse, this preparation since resuming. Not sure what happened over the break, but she is airborne. Won in fast time at Terrain first up, and then came from a hopeless position on the Caulfield Heath to win impressively again. Showed a terrific turn of foot. Both wins, extra 100 metres, shouldn't trouble her at all. And my value, this is a real throw at the stumps, a horse that has teased me over the journey. Here's our Bonneval in race 9, number 6 at around $26. I just feel like he's going to pinch one of these at big odds one day, and I don't want to miss out. Forever running on without winning, but he hasn't had much tempo in his races this prep, but on paper there looks to be a stack of speed in this, so I think he'll get the right tempo, big field, hopefully finds the right part of the track late in the day. His record says that Caulfield is clearly his best track. 5 runs, he's never been beaten more than 1.8 lengths, and he's also won in this grade. So Caulfield, hot tempo, late in the day, he's our Bonneval, either running on to win at $26 or running on for 4th and sucking me in again. But yeah,
hopefully channeling Bonneval of years gone by. Yeah, multiple Group 1 winner.
Indeed.
Needs to produce a bit of that.
Yes. All right, let's bring it home with the yays or nays for this week. We'll start with the big news of the week, Jim Bob Cummings. He finished 4th in last season's Sydney Metro Premiership. The yay or nay is he'll still be a top 5 trainer in New South Wales without the full backing of Godolphin. Yay or nay?
Well, it's somewhat of an easy nay, given that, well, this season he's currently 10th.
Yep.
So he's a little bit down the pecking order this season. So I'll say Neigh, but with the disclaimer that I feel his strike rate will be good. He'll be a quality over quantity type operator. Of course, he had Group 1 winners before he joined Godolphin as well too, with Prized Icon and Hallowed Crown as well. So definitely think he can train, but I'll say Neigh to the top 5.
Yeah, I'll also go with Neigh. Even with his obvious name and connections, I think it'll probably take him a little bit of time to really get firing like it did for John O'Shea when he left Godolphin. There's a real clump of trainers jostling for market share, I guess, behind the new big four, which is obviously Waller, Bjorn Baker, who's just had the most ridiculous season, and then you've got Waterhouse and Bott and Kieran Ma. So there's a stack of trainers. Yeah, you've got Joe Pride, Neisham and Archibald, Michael Freeman, John O'Shea, the Hawk stable. They're all sort of jostling for that top 5 spot, and I think Cummings will probably be among them, but it might take a little bit of time to get going again.
Yep.
Car Ying Rising is a better sprinter than Black Caviar, and this, for some context, this is not me saying it. This is Shane Dye, who said, you put Car Ying Rising in against Black Caviar and Silent Witness, and he would win every time 100%. Yay or nay, Car Ying Rising is a better sprinter than Black Caviar?
Give me a couple of easy ones here to start, haven't you? That's the easiest
half tracker.
Easiest nay of all time. I'm not going to shoot Bambi when I'm first up on the pod for a million years. Yeah, and that's exactly what Shane has sort of done there. But I can see why he's done it. It's obviously created discussion. That's the discussion we're now having. It's the old-fashioned water cooler chat.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's got people talking. But until Car Ying Rising can beat Doubtful Jack and Zedi Knight and Kwasa, I won't be a believer.
Yeah, okay. You have shot me there with that last comment. I'm Neigh. Might have to check the air quality in and around Dye's penthouse on the Gold Coast. Black Caviar never lost and broke records for fun without being fully throttled. So I think we'll just park the Black Cav comparisons until after the Everest.
Correct. And he's already lost races too.
Exactly. Yep. Which leads to the next point. Shane Dye is good for racing. Yay or no?
Well, it's an undoubted yay. So while you can disagree with what he says, it's still great for the game. It creates the discussion. I did say water cooler chat. Probably upgrade that to Slack chat. You know, these days with people working from home. But yeah, and you can't be too offended or put out necessarily. You're allowed to disagree and have a bit of debate about it. Yeah, and it's also hard to conclusively disagree necessarily with a statement that's impossible to prove.
That's true. I agree with everything you said. I also like that he's not afraid to criticise a poor ride when he sees one, unlike a lot of other sort of former jockeys who like to sit on the fence when it comes to that sort of stuff. He's not afraid to have an opinion, which I think is good. Now this one, the most fascinating runner on Saturday, Pride of Jenny. She will win at Caulfield. Yay or nay?
Yeah, this was a tougher one. I'm going to go with yay, though. I think sometimes we get sort of holed down by weights and measures and whatnot, and the weight is obviously there for Jenny on Saturday. But, yeah, it's great that she's out there as well, too, on a card like this. Normally it'd be a little bit sort of ho-hum to the wider masses anyway, but no doubt she'll bring a bit of extra headline power to the meeting at Caulfield, hopefully a crowd, and, yeah, hopefully she gets the job done as well, too.
She's got, you mentioned the weight, she's got 61 kilos, but I mean, she deserves every piece of that and more. 120 rater, carrying 7 kilos more than horses rated in the 60s and 70s. It's incredible when you look at the field that she's up against. I think I'm fence sitting a little bit. I think she either runs them into the ground and punters are left sort of lamenting why the hell didn't we take $2.50 for Pride of Jenny against this lot, or she drops right out. I can't see any middle ground with Pride of Jenny on Saturday, and it's a leg of the quaddie too. So I'll be taking 2 quaddies, one with her, one out, and one with basically the field, because that's the other thing. I can't look at that race and go, well, this is the obvious danger, because I don't think there is one. It's just whether she turns up on the day.
Who will be the sacrificial lamb as well too?
Well, I don't think. I mean, She Light led last time, but I don't know if that horse has got the early speed to go with Pride of Jenny. So it's an interesting one. I'll go against it. I'll say nay, but I really have absolutely no idea. As I said, it'll just be a quaddie. I won't be, having too many bets in that race. That's it from us. Yays or nays, done and dusted. Thank you, Sheo, for jumping on first up. It was pretty good.
No worries. A few cobwebs, but hopefully, did it justice, and we'll happily take the subs vest on and charge onto the ground again when you need me.
Second up, third up, look out. Thanks also to our sponsors, BoomBet. Great fixed odds, more value, more boom moments. Sign up today and get in on the boom. If you enjoy listening or watching, hold all tickets. Give us a like and or a follow on our various platforms, Punters, YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram. Leave a review if you're feeling generous. And most importantly, good luck backing a winner or three this Saturday. Happy punting. What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.